Welcome to Channel 7 News at 8:30 p.m. I'm Caitlyn Albano.
And I'm Zina. Last week on October 30th, about 40,000 people gathered at the front of Plowman's Town Hall. They pushed for change in the voting system and quick solutions to the immediate political problems arising in Germany.
We have much more information tonight, but at the moment we have Cassidy with this week's weather forecast.
Hello, good afternoon. This week's forecast for West Berlin and Germany unfortunately seems like a very cloudy week. Hello, I lost signal with the main studio. The Berlin Wall that was built by the Soviet Union allies in Germany, who ruled the east side with communism, has been opened to the public for those who desire to live and see the Great West Side. For the people who don't know what the Berlin Wall is, after World War II, Germany was left in ruins. The winning alliances split Germany into 4 zones to help rebuild this country. The western side being occupied by non-communist countries such as France, Britain, and United States, and the eastern side occupied by all Germany's communist groups that were allies with the Soviet Union.
The Soviet zone of Germany became isolated from the rest of the country, and the tension grew between the Soviet bloc and the Western allies, so the passage between cities in the different zones shrank. On August 16, 1961, the split between Berlin came to life when the government issued a wall be constructed. East Germany troops and workers took to the task, but as the concrete wall was being built, government officials put up fences overnight so people wouldn't get through. In just 2 weeks, they were about to succeed in completing the blockade of Germany. Many citizens had no clue what had taken place and why. Tonight we have Haylee at the scenes talking with one of the witnesses that has been able to pass through the opened wall.
Hello, here I am at the gate, where about 2 million people are partying in the street. This wall is 12 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 28 miles long, that separates the eastern people of Berlin and the west, and it has now been opened. Let's talk to one of the German people who have been able to pass through the wall. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Agnes Bornemann.
How do you feel about getting across the wall? Do you think your life is going to change compared to your life inside of the wall?
I'm so happy I could cry right now. I'm looking forward to raising my children and continuing my life with no economic problems and living freely with no restrictions.
Was life really that bad in eastern Berlin?
My family and I self-confided. We were seen on television as being happy people that were content with their lives. The government failed to show our struggles and the poverty that grew more and more each day. They wanted it to seem like everything was okay, but we had little to no goods to buy, so we couldn't feed our family, and many of the people died of starvation.
What a horrible type of city to live in. You said you had children. How old are they? And how were they treated as their status in school?
I have 2 children, one 7-year-old girl and one 17-year-old boy in eastern Berlin. The education system was very strict. They were very focused on the children learning all day long rather than having playtime, even with the younger kids. My kids grew up with having pioneer afternoons, which were designed for children to become good socialists and to understand the socialist economy and why it must keep going.
Did you agree with these pioneer afternoons?
Actually, I didn't, but I was much too afraid to voice my opinion to the headmaster of the school.
Did your children ever learn about the truth of the wall?
Yes, my daughter came home one day telling me her teacher went over the purpose of the wall. She had told the children that the wall separated the good people from the bad, which were the communists against non-communists.
Wow, that's horrible. I'm sorry, Agnes, but our time has come to an end. Thank you so much for letting us interview you, and I hope you have a better life on this west side of the wall. Now back to Zina and Caitlyn at the studio.
Thank you, Haylee, for the interview. We have our other reporter, Gerda, talking to one of the border guards that was at the wall when it opened.
Hello, Colonel Mustard. I was wondering if you could answer a few questions for us today.
Of course.
Many people are wondering why the Soviets wanted to build a Berlin Wall. Can you tell us why?
The Berlin Wall was thought to be built to make sure people without freedom couldn't see what they were missing out on in life, but really it was just a way for us to keep communists and non-communists apart.
How many people do you think escaped prior to the wall falling?
To my knowledge, there was about 5,000 that crossed. There were thousands that did die trying to cross the death strip.
Wow, what was the process of building the Berlin Wall?
Originally, our first defense was asphalt and cobblestones. Then we decided to top it with barbed wire to make the wall more secure. That ended up not working well, so we changed the flimsy wall with concrete slabs and hollow blocks. We were given instructions by Premier Khrushchev, who told us not to allow people to move back and forth through the gates any longer.
Who built the wall?
We had East Berlin construction workers that were watched over by the GDR border guards.
Was there any openings at all?
Well, yes. We had only 3 checkpoints at Helmstedt, Dreilinden, and Friedrichstraße.
At the night of the falling, were you aware what was happening?
The guards and I were very confused, and when the citizens became too much to handle, we let the people go through without the confirmation from the government. We had heard the interview prior, and the word immediately was taken to action faster than we could get clarified.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Colonel Mustard.
No problem.
Now back to the studio, Channel 7.
Hello. Now to wrap up this day, we have Gunter Chabowski, the man behind the Berlin Wall collapsing. In an earlier press conference, 7 p.m., November 9th, all of Germany watched as this man stated that the wall will be open soon for people who wish to cross over to the west side. But how soon? Let's see the inside story with our reporter Haylee at Gunter Chabowski's house.
Hello, I'm here with Gunter. Gunter, what was going through your mind at the press conference when you said the gate was going to be opened immediately?
Before the press conference, I had not been able to get over the documents beforehand, and with the pressure, the word just came out. Later did I know that my word would change the lives of people in Germany forever.
Are you proud of what you have done?
I wouldn't say I'm proud, but I believe I was saving the GDR from battles that could have been lost in the future. It was my gut that told me to say now. Ever since the wall was built, the citizens of Germany began to lose interest in why the Communist Party was so much better than capitalism. You are safer, washed over, you are not living life unplanned, and everything is organized and led to make your happiness the main goal. Also, you are not worried about how much the person next to you makes, and there is no judgment. It was more than a political party, it was a family.
Then why was the Soviet Union all of a sudden going to allow people to get visas over the wall?
To open the Berlin Wall was discussed among us, and it was decided by the Politburo on October 17th that we would open gates to the people on November 10th. Not to mention we were struggling. We kept losing more and more pro-communist people. From the information we collected, there were around 300 to 500 people escaping a day that were against communism. Protests had slowly began to occur, and our government had no more control of the people. They voiced their opinion and talked back to the great leaders of Germany.
Do you still consider yourself pro-communist?
Absolutely. I wish more people felt the same. It is a shame to see that socialism failed.
What are some ways the government encouraged communism in Germany?
Our main focus was television. In Germany, we broadcasted shows that would make the West look unbearable to live in because of anti-communist attitudes people had. The people should know how awful it really was over there. Our show provided them with that our main message of citizens of Eastern Germany was that in Western Germany, democratic forces were showing up more and more all over the city, and that we needed to put a stop to it before it took over the communist government.
Can you give us some examples of your most popular propaganda-influenced TV shows?
Some popular ones would be MacGyver, The Lives of Others, Ernolf, and others.
What do you think East Germany is going to do now?
The wall falling indicates a sense of defeat. Our successfulness with our government in communist countries' eyes was so high we became an influence to the other nations. The fall of the wall showed that the Soviets' way of life with communism had crumbled and the stupid allies had beat us again.
Well, thank you, Gunter, for letting us in and speaking to us. Now, back to you, Caitlyn and Zina, at the studio.
Thank you, Haylee. This day will not only be remembered, but rejoiced. For November 9th, 1989 is the day the Berlin Wall has fallen.
This wall was the most symbolic icon of the Cold War, and now that the wall has been opened, it is a symbol of the end of dictatorship, the Cold War, and the divide between communist East and non-communist West.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Caitlyn Albano.
And I'm Zina Noor. Tune in next time for the most up-to-date news on Channel 7 CNN in Germany.